Some of them are real top-end players, meaning likes of Harry Kane, for example. But I think that Tottenham will fancy themselves. I think Tottenham can play in different ways. I think they've improved in the tournament. I think the way you see them, even last season, I was quite impressed by them as well. So I don't think Tottenham will be easy for MD, who plays against them. In fact, I think Tottenham, you know, if the draw goes right for them, could find themselves getting through here.
OK, all eyes on two big potential rivals, potentially come up against each other in the quarter-finals. Cristiano Ronaldo left for Juventus, ending his season-by-season rivalry with Lionel Messi that he'd enjoyed when he'd been at Real Madrid, of course. But will they be reunited? Well, they both have impressive records in the Champions League, as you might expect. Ronaldo, 124 goals, 164 appearances. Messi, 108 from 131. They both have 8 hat-tricks, but it's Messi who has the better minutes per goal ratio. Ronaldo, though, has the edge in the knockout stages. Look at this, 63 goals in 77 appearances, also 14 assists in those games too. Some difference to Messi, who has 42 goals in 64 appearances. Ronaldo has double the hat-tricks at this stage, has a much better minutes per goal ratio. Let's talk a little bit about Ronaldo and Messi. I mean, it's a debate, but ultimately, actually, what I'm interested in is how they've evolved over time. Stuart, how do you think their games have changed, but they're still banging in the goals?
Well, listen, they've been at the top of their game for, what, a decade or more. They score goals, they play all the games. All this talk about rotating players and resting your best players, these two boys roll out the games week after week. And while you've got either of those two in your team, you can win the Champions League. Even if the rest of the team are not playing great, you can defend stoutly and they can win a game on their own.
Yeah, they've got this aura, haven't they, of just dragging their teams through. We saw that with Ronaldo, particularly with Real Madrid. Chris, is it fair to say Messi best player and Ronaldo best goal scorer?
It's an argument that I think everyone will have their own opinions on. I seen a stat the other day, was it Ronaldo scored more goals in the Champions League than Atletico Madrid have in total, which is an incredible stat. I mean, both of them two, what them two have done for the game over years and consistently as well, that's the word, consistently, 40, 50, 60 goals consistently every single year. That won't be done again.
Let's bring in David Moyes very briefly on this. Barcelona against Juventus is a potential tie in the quarter-finals. Would you like to see Ronaldo and Messi over 2 legs, or maybe leave that for the final and have them head-to-head in Madrid for the final on June the 1st?
I'd like them to be separated, because I'd like all the English teams to draw these teams, possibly, and mean that giving the English teams a better chance of getting to the final. But I said earlier, I went to see Lyon in Barcelona, probably turning up to see maybe a not quite so good Lionel Messi, but I've got to say, he was stunning. His performance, the way he played, the dribbles he had, his ability was incredible. And then this week we've seen Ronaldo go on and score a hat-trick in a game against Atletico Madrid where people didn't expect Atletico Madrid to lose. Ronaldo comes up with the goods again. I think they're two outstanding players, very difficult to call who's better or who's a better goal scorer. I just think we're really fortunate that this period of time we're all getting a chance to see two exceptional footballers.
We're not too far away from the draw now. Julio Cesar is the UEFA special guest who's going to be conducting balls out of bowls and seeing who will face who. But let's come to our striker here on the panel, Darren Bent, on Messi and Ronaldo. I mean, you were effusing and really enthusiastic about his assists against Lyon, not just his goals, because he could have had a hat-trick, he probably could have had 4.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's the other part of his game that he really contributes, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we were speaking before about he seems to enjoy assisting just as much as scoring goals. Now, I don't think that's the case, obviously, on Ronaldo's side. Like, it's more like, obviously, he scores, and if he assists, yeah, he's happy, but it's the joy Messi gets out of assisting as well. And I'd probably agree with what you said earlier about maybe Ronaldo's a better goal scorer. I mean, if I need someone to get me a goal, and even with his first goal the other night, the desire, the hunger to get on the end of the cross, I think you want Ronaldo. But as far as playing goes and just creating something out of nothing and doing something special, then I'd go Lionel Messi.
Stuart, can you see Lionel Messi actually kind of dropping even further back in the pitch? Because he's played as a false 9, he's played wide, he's played sort of floating, but he seems to be really being part of the creative process of a move rather than, you know, the end part of it.
Well, I think all players of his ilk like to pick the ball up and run at players. So, because they're intelligent players, if they struggle to get on the ball with their back to play, they'll drop slightly deeper. And as Darren said there, he creates more than Ronaldo. Ronaldo scores, you know, headers, both feet a little bit more, an all-round sort of finisher. Messi can be a creator, and probably the older he gets, he'll drop further and further deeper and create more than he actually scores.
Yeah, we're getting closer and closer to the start of the draw. Just reading out some sort of technical procedures, obviously just exactly how the draw will be conducted, and as soon as those balls are out of the bowls, we will let you know who has got who. One name from each of you guys of who your former team shouldn't face, who you want to avoid. So, Chris, who, out of everyone, I don't want you to say, oh, maybe this one, I want one name from you.
City.
Okay, but you beat them last season over 2 legs.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe it's a different picture this time around. Stuart, as Manchester City former manager and player. Liverpool, I thought you'd say that.
They're an English side, we don't want them, and to be fair, they're dangerous.
Why is that? Why is that? Is it to do with just the style that Liverpool offer and that Guardiola has an issue with that?
I think as a manager, whenever you play a side regularly in the league, the last thing you want to do is meet them again in the cup competitions, especially in these European games.
Okay, and Spurs for you, Darren?
Barcelona.
Okay, Barcelona. Just the Messi factor?
The Messi factor, yeah. I mean, you saw what Messi did to them in the group stage, and you just know that it's his competition. And as we said earlier, when you've got someone like that on the pitch, it's always dangerous.
Okay, well, we are getting ready now for this UEFA Champions League quarter-final draw. We will just remind you once again, there is no country protection. 4 English teams involved, Manchester United, Manchester City, Liverpool and Tottenham, and they can meet each other, of course, kept apart in the group stage and kept apart in the round of 16, but that means nothing right now. So the balls are in the bowls. They're just stirring them right away. Right now, we're about to have the first one that comes out of the bowl. Will it be an English team at home, or will it be one of the other teams that are involved? We're about to see, as Julio Cesar is passed the sheet of paper and about to reveal who that first team is out of the box, and it is Ajax. Now then, Ajax away first. I think everyone is nodding their head in the studio to say, we would fancy that because you'd like to bring the Dutch side back.
Any English team, I think, now would be saying, we'll take this.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a lot worse in there.
Despite what they did to Real Madrid, both home and away, despite losing, at home, they were impressive.
I think it was a different Real Madrid side. It wasn't Real Madrid of last season. I think then, no, but...
Okay, well, we will see whether Ajax are about to face an English team. That second ball is being unscrewed and opened right now. Let's have a look at who their opponents are. It is Juventus. Ajax against Juventus, which means that the likelihood of an all-English tie has just increased a bit because we've got rid of 2 of the other teams. Juventus, you'd imagine, favourites to go through from that?
Yeah, you would have thought so, especially the way they've come back in the last game as well. Confidence will be sky high.
Okay.
They'll be delighted with that draw.
How do you rate their chances overall, actually, Juve, in this tournament?
They've just gone up. Their chances of winning the competition have just gone up.
Right.
Away from home against Ajax, they would take that all day.
Okay, third ball is being drawn right now. Let's have a look at who it's going to be. It is Liverpool at home. Like being at home for the first leg at Anfield, Chris?
No, I'd prefer being at home for the second leg. But listen, it's going to be a special night again. We're just nervous now.
But sometimes just simply that force of Anfield in that first leg can give you that advantage that then you can really protect in that second leg. Right, who will Liverpool face? Will it be an English team, or will it be one of the other remaining continental teams? It is Porto at home first.
Awesome.
Then you're heading to the Estadio do Dragão for the second leg.
Very
happy with that.
Extremely happy. Yeah, and listen, let's not disrespect Porto because they've got to be exceptional side. But they won't be looking forward to that tie.
So we've had Ajax against Juventus, Liverpool against Porto. We're in a live newsroom as well, and plenty of Liverpool fans here as well. Sky Sports News, you can probably hear them behind me. 5th team to be drawn out of the bowl is...
And Man City, surely.
Tottenham. And they will be at home. Again, the Wembley factor. I mean, would you like to be at home for the first leg? Does it matter for you, Darren?
Doesn't matter. To be fair, it doesn't matter. I mean, listen, to get to where Tottenham want to get to, they're going to have to beat, do you know what I mean? They're going to have to beat the best. So why not at this stage?
Well, let's find out who is their opponent in the last 8 of this UEFA Champions League draw. The name is out of the bowl, and it is Manchester City. It's Pochettino against Guardiola. So, guys, how do we feel about this? Darren, Stuart?
Well, firstly, I think Liverpool have gone as favourites for the competition now, being that side of the draw, being who they've got. This, I think, say it, but I think they'll probably turn around away from home first. potentially. I think it could have been worse. But that side of the draw is tough now.
Emma, what do you think?
Yes, it's tricky. It's going to be real tricky. But listen, as I said, Tottenham, if you look at their run to get to this stage, they played some big hitters, so let's bring another one.
And of course, now that means that Barcelona are out of the bolt, and it means that it is Manchester United who will take on Barcelona at the Camp Nou. David Moyes, your reaction to that draw?
Incredibly tough draw, but a great draw. After beating Paris Saint-Germain, you can take MD on, but I've got to say that, you know, a great occasion. It's the sort of games that Manchester United are used to, and it'll be a great night.
So let's just very, very briefly recap. It is Ajax against Juventus, Liverpool against Porto, Spurs against Manchester City, Barcelona against Manchester United. We'll have the semi-final draw in just a moment, and plenty more with Darren Stewart and Chris in the studio as well. Stay with us. Champions League quarter-final draw has been made. We have one all-English tie. This is how it stacks up. Ajax and Juventus, the first two balls out of the bowls. Liverpool at home to Porto. Chris Kirkland very happy with that draw. Porto, the team that everyone wanted. Tottenham versus Manchester City is that all-English tie. Now, Barcelona versus Manchester United is the last tie, but United will actually start that tie at home. We mentioned before that because Manchester City and Manchester United cannot play in the same city on the same day or consecutive days, that United's tie would be switched because they finished lower than City in the Premier League. So they will actually start against Barcelona at Old Trafford and then head to the Camp Nou. Let's take you through the semi-final draw because that was also done during the break. And so it is Spurs or Manchester City who will be at home first against Ajax or Juventus. I think Stuart Pearce is happy about that from a City perspective. And then Barcelona or Manchester United against Liverpool or Porto. Let's head to our Manchester studio and speak first of all to the former Manchester United manager, David Moyes. David, we got your reaction to the Barcelona draw, but now you could potentially have to make your way past Liverpool as well just to get through to the final. How do you feel about that?
Well, I think when you get to this stage of the competition, you're playing good teams. There's no real poor teams left in it. And I think if you're going to get through the quarter-final, you get to the semi-final, well, you're expecting to get one of the big boys. So if United can get through, then obviously they're going to have to play one of the really good teams in the competition. But United are one of the really good teams at this moment in time. So I don't think they'll fear MD. I think the Barcelona game's a great game. Maybe a little bit of, nothing to lose in it. I would see Barcelona as still favourites for the competition. So it'll be a really good game, and I think that'll be Ole going back to the Camp Nou as well, which will be a big sort of moment for him as well.
Of course, 99 and all that. Let's just talk about the switch of the game, because now you'll be